actually came up with today, about an hour ago. So this is kind of a rushed thing, but I don't know what you think about it, but I would like to do every month a history of one of the dead musicians, like you know, Eric Clapton, or he's not dead, but Jack I didn't want to spread any rumors, but
Jim Morrison,
Janis Joplin or things like that.
Yeah, great.
So anyway, today I'm just going to give you some facts, and I'll have to look at it about Jimi Hendrix. I mean, we all know who Jimi Hendrix is, right? Or was. So he was born in 42 and died in 1970. So he was about 28 years old. And he died, unfortunately, like most of the musicians, overdose of drugs. And that's total waste, just like all the rest of them. He learned how to play his guitar with the ukulele with one string. He didn't understand or even care to understand about notes or read music. Everything was done by ear. If you've seen him actually eat a guitar. He would do this, right, and then he'd flip it up like this and still play, and then he'd come back down and he'd go like that. I mean, if you ever seen him play, it was magical, and I was really one of the fortunate person that was able to do that. He was one of the first to have feedback, an amplifier, and and he would put the guitar in front of the amplifier, and you get this feedback. Well, he was the first one to start that, and then he built fuzz box, and you would know what it is. If you didn't know what it is, you've heard it before, and they are using that a lot. So he was a backup, and I didn't know any of this stuff, but he was a backup to Sam Cooke, Little Richard, Wilson Pickett, Ike and Tina Turner, and the Isley Brothers. He had a bass player, and I can verify this. 1968. He was 6 foot 9 inches tall. Huge guy, bass player, right? And he would have a black coat on, and I swear, if you looked at it, and he had an afro, and if you looked at him, he looked like a lamppost. And he got the name lamppost. If you want to look it up, look it up. Let's see, eat his guitar. I did that. Okay. 1968 is when he was first asked to play, and that was Billy Graham did that. Oh my God. And if you know who Billy Graham, he wasn't the religious guy. I'd like to see him do that job. That's pretty much to be more organized next month. And if there's anybody who'd like to hear anything about old, just let me know, and I'll do the research and kind of bring it to the circle.
Brilliant.
I like the idea.
We need that.
Oh, good, good.
Coincidentally, my last name is Hendrix.
It is.
Also spelled with an X. And to this day, I still get asked, usually when it's a clerk who sees the name written with the X, I still get asked if I'm any relation to Jim.
He died owing money, so watch out.
Trilby, yeah. A Kangol, you call
from
that
England,
one.
originally.
Yeah, originally from England.
Yeah.
What's with all the graffiti then? What's going on there?
This is what's hot right now, graffiti.
It is
It's hot,
actually.
very hot.
Yeah, I've
all this
noticed
like
that.
painted stuff and tattoo stuff, that's very hot. This is
Well, that's very common here.
that's yeah. Something
the
like
old
that, a
Frank,
straw fedora.
the old Frank Sinatra
Yeah,
looks
right
really
here.
in now.
This is
Oh,
Charlie
look
Chaplin.
at that, the old bowler. Wow.
Charlie Chaplin.
I didn't know you sold them.
Yeah, we do.
did you have him recently? Didn't you have Steve Martin in recently?
Steve Martin bought a bunch of hats, yeah. We
What's
just
he
had that guy
buying
from
for?
Seinfeld, huh?
What's he buying for, a musical or something?
No, for himself. He just loves these hats. He loves fedoras. Yeah. He's very kind of Italian looking right here.
Oh, I like that one better than all the ones you've just showed me,
Yeah,
actually.
that's a good one. That's very Italian.
See?
Yeah.
Wait till we get you to Vegas, kid. I'll tell you, when you get to Vegas, you're gonna play great, kid. You won't let me down, will you, kid? You're not gonna let me down.
No, sir. No,
That's
sir.
great. You know, you look like Elvis, you act like Elvis. I mean,
Thank you, sir.
I just think you are Elvis. I mean, you're blowing me away, kid.
Thank
I'll
you
tell
very
you,
much,
kid,
sir.
when we get there, there's money in this, kid. There's money in it. I'll tell you, kid, we can get you maybe 20 grand for this deal, you know, for this gig. It's a good gig. This is a very good gig, kid. I'll tell you, kid, it really is. And I was just thinking, kid, that I'll tell you, when we're there, you know, there's plenty of women for you there, kid. There's a lot of strip clubs, you know. We'll get you in. Don't worry, kid. I got passes
Well,
for
that's great, man. That's
everybody knows me, Elvis. Everybody knows me, Elvis. You know, they get me in for everything.
great. That's great, man.
Yeah, I get a pass anywhere. Anywhere
great.
I want, kid. Don't worry, kid. Plenty of cigars, too, kid. They come for free, you know.
Oh, I love a
Yeah,
cigar.
we have free Cuban cigars if you want them, kid. You know, I mean, I love the Cuban cigars myself, kid. You know, I don't have one now because I can't afford one. But don't worry about that. It's just a cigar, kid. You know, don't worry about that. But you know, when we get to Vegas, first thing I'll do, I'll get you a blonde, a hot little blonde, 4'10". You'll love the blonde.
Yeah, man. I love
What
cigar.
else you need, Elvis? What else do you need in Vegas? I mean, what else? You need clothes?
Yes, sir.
Well, just
I want clothes, sir. Yes,
just
sir.
write a knee for Elvis, and it's all paid for. You know, when you
Yes,
get
sir.
there. And we'll be staying at the Tropicana, kid. We're staying at the Tropicana.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tropicana.
That's
When we
good,
walk
sir.
through the Tropicana, kid, you know, you can sit there in the chair, get a massage,
Wow, that's
bit
good,
of
sir.
oop-de-doo, you know, bit of
Yeah.
oop-de-doop-de-doo.
Yeah.
You know, kid. And lovely girls massaging your shoulders, Elvis. You know,
Wow.
that's what Elvis liked. You
That
know,
sounds good, man.
before he went on the stage. you
That
know,
sounds
kid.
real good, man.
Yeah, I'm time for a cigar. But you know, when we get there, kid, there's you know, you can take the girls on the boats going through the river, and there's all types of things you can do when you're there, kid. You know, it's not just being Elvis. I mean,
Oh,
it's
sir.
just being a lot of things when you get in Vegas. Boy, Tom Jones, Elton John, Rod Stewart, all these guys, they come all the way from England. All the Limeys, they all come here. You know why, kid? Because Vegas, they can make 20 grand a day in Vegas, kid. You can make 20 grand a day.
Sounds good to me,
Of course,
sir.
I gotta get you some more shirts and better shoes and stuff, kid, you know. And another thing, you gotta get you a Martin guitar, kid, you know. If you got a Martin guitar, oh,
Sure.
kid, you'll blow them away. The sound, you know, the wood.
Yes,
The
sir.
wood that it's made
Yes,
of.
sir.
I mean, the wood. It's absolutely fantastic, kid, you know. But, I tell you, this is gonna be great, kid. I don't know what to tell you, but, all you gotta do is make me a lot of money, kid. That's all I'm saying. You just make me a lot of money and I'll make you a lot of money.
Yes, sir.
You'll be on my books, kid.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, 10 years down the road, you'll still be in my books. You're
That's
gonna
right,
be
sir.
my hopeful, kid.
Yes, sir.
You're my hopeful in Vegas. And nobody else can take you over. You will be the #1 Vegas Elvis. There's nobody gonna take you over in Vegas.
Yes, sir.
Nobody, kid.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, in there, Elvis. You have my word on that, Elvis.
Thank you, sir.
I've never sold an actor before, but don't worry about those guys. They're all hopefuls. They're
Yes, sir.
hopefuls, kid. Don't worry about them. You're going to be the first one I ever sold. I'm going to stay with you right to the end. You got it, kid.
Thank you, sir.
You got it all, kid. Don't you forget it. That's it, kid.
Excuse me, I was talking. Val Kilmer, he just died recently, right? Well, his assistant called me up and she said, I need you for 1 day. She said, how much do you charge? I told her. She says, great. Can I get you for 1 day? I says, yeah, okay, I'll be there in Malibu, because all my work was in Malibu. So I didn't know who it was going to be for or anything. And they had these Indian doors that have no locks, no nothing, and you just push them open. And as the assistant pushed them open, I saw Val Kilmer and he's on the floor trying to lift a box like this. And I don't know what made me do it, but I said, how you doing, Val? Like that. And he fell back, dropped the box, and just could not stop laughing at me. So she takes me into the living room and she says, as I went in there being a painter, I looked on the shelf and there was about 12 quarts that he'd been mixing, all wrong. So she told me, she said, he's tried every one of these tins, Lenny. We need to match the fireplace with the floor in the kitchen. I said, well, that's light grey and that's black. She said, yeah, I know, that's why we've got so many quarts. I said, well, you've got to find a happy medium that is really, really dark grey. We're going to do that. So she goes up and tells Val. He comes down and he says, listen to the painter. The painter knows, okay? Whatever he mixes, that's what we're going to put on, because he's sick of doing 12 tins. So I start getting it on. There's this little student he's got there that can help me. So I said, right, you paint those bricks. I'll paint these bricks. And we started painting the whole thing, and I started talking, and the assistant comes running in, and she says, don't speak. He takes everything you say. I said, right, I'll do monologues. I started doing long monologues for him. Yeah. I mean, once you say that to me, I'm going to come through for it, you know what I mean? So, she kept begging me, don't speak. So I'm painting and talking to the student. I said, oh yeah, I went to this acting school and all this, and I'm chatting away. And she started getting a bit pissed. And the student's enjoying me, really likes me, we're lovely talk. So I mixed the paint. Val comes down, he stirs his stew, because he's eating plates of stew. He's stirring his stew as he comes down. He comes over to me and he goes, oh, what you got? I says, that's a dark grey. That's going to blend with everything. He says, looks good to me. And the assistant's still humming and ahhing about it. I says, make up your mind. I'm only here for a day. So I painted the fireplace. Well, about 2 months later, my sister-in-law calls me up and she says, your famous fireplace is on the TV right now. I said, it's not even my house, you know. She said, you're on TMZ. And what's happened is, Val Kilmer wasn't supposed to paint anything in the house because he's only renting the house. So they sued him. Now my fireplace is there on TMZ. So that was it.